Welcome back, everybody. My name is Fia Gloss. We're playing another Scream City Jam game, Jam Submission. This one is called 2 Lines by Matt Reeves. A short horror experience meant to provoke both terror and deep thought. I've been especially excited about this game. Maybe I shouldn't open with that, but let's be real. I'm an honest guy. Why am I excited? Because I completely botched the last game that Matt Reeves made called 2 Stars, I believe. A lot of 2s going around. I completely screwed it up, and my computer was not able to run his game at all. So I felt kind of bad because, well, my computer could not run Unreal Engine games, and it just didn't work out. Sorry, I'm adjusting my mic right now, as I always do in the middle of my recording instead of before I start recording. So I was excited to play Matt Reeves' game because it looked good, and I really desperately tried, but it just didn't happen. So, new computer, new life. I tried to get it running through Wine, didn't work. Asked for a Linux version, he delivered, so it's only fair. So 2 lines, here we are. Story time's over. So far, the riddle and story have yet to be solved. Most people are running straight through the game without paying any attention to the details and thus don't have any idea what happened. Observe carefully when you play, and be open to a second playthrough if necessary. This game was created in 1 week for the 2019 Scream City Game Jam. You assume the role of a man in an ominous city, seemingly alone. Though your surroundings seem familiar, you're not sure why, and you must explore the town in search of an answer. If you can complete this game, please try to solve the riddle from the opening sequence in a post below. There's also an Easter egg that some die-hard survival horror fans will likely notice. Since this also has yet to be solved, pay attention to the street signs. Okay. So, cool. I don't want to read any comments because I'd rather not have anything spoiled for me here. So here we are. Oh, gotta resize that. What's going on now? Here's what we'll do. Let's make sure we get this sized properly. We're not screwing up. Not playing around. All right. Let's play. I feel like I read through I was reading through the devlogs, and I feel like I saw something. 2 tender lines that said this was a difficult game, carefully drawn, and so, 2 for life, 2 for death. I think I'm seeing double 4 lines. So we'll see how I do. I'm usually not actually that good at video games. And especially since, you know, these are like some of the first person games I've been playing, probably around 8 years or so. So let's do this. Okay. Definitely don't want to rush through. So, you know, I'm open to a second playthrough. I want to experience what Matt Reeves has in store for me because he's been so kind to actually like make it possible for me to experience his games. So, looks nice. I don't know what most Unreal Engine games look like, but this looks good. like I said, I'm playing on Linux, and so if there's like screen tearing and stuff like that, that's kind of on my end probably, because I don't quite know how to how to get the right drivers going for everything. I wonder if I do full screen, if that helps at all. No, doesn't really. In fact, it just oh boy. Let's make sure my recording looks okay. Let's go for okay. All right. Okay. It's still okay. So okay. Here we are. Audio has started. I'm playing this at 10 p.m. when I usually go to bed, maybe 9. So I'm ready to get completely spooked. All right, street signs. Matheson Street and Midwich Street. Okay, so if you are a hardcore survival horror fan, you will know that Midwich and Matheson Street are streets in Silent Hill. Finney Street. Midwich Elementary being the elementary school that you explore. Oh, shit. Okay. Oh, and shift is a run. Perfect. And Matheson also is a horror writer. He wrote, oh, now I'm blanking on it because I'm trying not to get Levin Street. Levin wrote Rosemary's Baby. Matheson wrote, oh, what is it called? It's Haunting of Hill House, or I think that's what it was. I've only seen the movie. I haven't read the book. And then we saw Bachman Street back there. Bachman is a that is a pseudonym for Stephen King, which got found out essentially immediately. And then he wrote The Dark Half, I want to say. That's what it was called. Essentially about a pseudonym taking over and becoming this like actual physical entity that then starts to murder people who've disgraced the actual writer. Anyway, I'm looking at street signs and explaining them, hopefully demonstrating that I am true survival horror fan. But yes, these are street names that are in Silent Hill, so it's kind of like we're in Silent Hill right now, dealing with our own demons of sorts. Yeah, Bachman Road. It's a fun little thing to just throw some street signs in there. And Bradbury Street. I wonder, I don't feel like I have stamina, so I can just keep running. I should probably start trying doors. Just kind of exploring the city right now, trying to avoid the monster. Okay. We're getting a feel for the layout. Alright, so feel pretty confident in my ability to escape the monster so long as I keep my wits about me. So it's just a matter of making sure now that I can keep my eyes peeled for crucial details on the story itself. I feel like I've successfully answered the street name Easter egg because, you know, I'm a nerd about Silent Hill, I think, as anybody who makes horror games are. Oh shit, there he is. Okay. Can he climb stairs? It sounds like he can. Yes. Oh shit. Okay. I should have trusted that Matt Reeves would make him climb stairs. Okay, so we're gonna miss a couple crucial details here, only because I am desperately trying to avoid the monster. Okay. I can kind of see in the windows a little bit. No, that's just the reflection in the windows. It is a good monster design, I want to say. Like, that is a good monster design. I quite like it. And I mean, the pathfinding's good. I mean, he's clearly following me. And, you know, following me from rooftop to rooftop. So, that's pretty cool. Alright, so let's see. How do I potentially get in somewhere? Also, I don't know if my keyboard is really loud or not right now. I've been trying to, like, deal with that issue and work with, like, gates and compressors, so you just hear clickety-clackety the whole time. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry. I have to use my keyboard more than you guys have to hear it, so I don't actually care. I just say that so that I sound like a very considerate YouTuber who cares deeply about his audience. Alright. So, we're looking for some details here. I'm noticing a lot of cages, fences, and whatnot. I'm gonna hold off on that being beyond an aesthetic choice until I'm given some sort of indication that it's relevant, along with these sort of rusty stairs. Sometimes, you know, I saw that, like, you know, the opening description was kind of being like, hey, nobody's figured this out yet. And I kind of just like, if that's a mood, right? If the meme is, that's a mood, right? So that's kind of how I feel a lot of times, where it's just like, you know, I took the time to put in this interesting story, and I'm desperately waiting for somebody to notice. So I definitely feel that, Matt. I definitely feel that. Alright, let's see. Okay. So we're exploring the streets here. I'm likely missing how to get in anywhere. Probably can't really get in somewhere from the roof. And I'm also not conscious of going in circles right now, so like, this all feels new, but I don't know that it necessarily is. Oh, okay. Wow, we are just like really, this is definitely new. Okay. Yeah, wow, look, this is like topsy-turvy geometry here. It's very cool, you know. It's like, oof, getting a little dizzy. Like I said, I'm not used to playing first-person games, so motion sickness is going to be a real thing for me. I'm not used to playing many video games at all, actually, other than Twine games. Oh, it's upside down now. Interesting. That's awesome. I love that. Okay, so we've successfully entered the mirror universe here. Okay. I almost kind of want to restart. In fact, here's what we'll do. If I don't find something here pretty soon, I'll restart, because I definitely feel as though I've missed some crucial things. But we'll keep exploring. This is, you know, my first experience as a player. Oh, fuck. This is my first experience as a player, so it's kind of like important to maintain that unfiltered view. I think what's great about YouTube Let's Plays, and why I like to do them, is that as a game developer, you often don't know, and I'm calling myself a game developer very charitably, but you know, it's like you often don't know. Oh, here we go. Here we go. This is something. Okay, cool. So we're in the upside down version here. You often don't know how certain things are going to come off and how they're going to connect or not connect. And so it's kind of important sometimes to just be able to see somebody's raw, unfiltered vision of that something. Okay, so we got a briefcase here. Is there like a zoom in or something? So we have a plane ticket X'd off to Chicago, Chi-Town, and we have 2 bloodied people in bed, and a man in a bloodied bath with pills. Oh, we have a pregnancy test with 2 lines. And then we have benzos. Oh, and then a razor. So slit wrists there. There we go. Oh, okay. Okay, and then we wake up back up. Okay, so we were... Okay, so... You know that you deserve this. Okay, so... This game and all of its assets. All of its assets, wow. It's actually very, very impressive. All of the assets. So yeah, this was... Well, okay, let's go over my experience from the, you know, the gameplay graphical kind of thing. So, and this music, I like the music. So yeah, let's go through it like just bit by bit. Story. No, let's not do story. Story's last, sorry. Models. The monster, super cool looking, excellent model. I think I'm gonna play again here in a sec and just kind of get a closer look at it, to kind of see with all the references to Silent Hill. I think it's only fair to look into it and be like, okay, how can we read into the monster a little bit? But just from seeing the monster on the horizon, like, that is a great monster automatically. Got me creeped out. I'm usually not scared by video games that often, but there was that moment where it's like you turn around and then all of a sudden the music's changed, and that sound that you were just thinking was your own feet or whatever, you turn around and you see it and you're like, oh, I'm I'm in a bad way now. Textures were totally fine. Nothing stuck out as particularly bad or particularly good. It just felt like this is a game, you know, like this, like everything fit and it felt like a real place more or less. I mean, other than, you know, the level itself, but it's like kind of like you can't make a lively looking city in a week, especially when you're making all this stuff. Animations, the jittery Jacob's Ladder like animation for the monster was super cool. I love the music. I love this juxtaposition of this atmospheric kind of calm music with the horror element. Sound effects are good. Let's restart it. Sure, I'm recording. Okay. And I liked how the music changed when you were being pursued versus not, and that was very cool. And the sound effects were good as well, where there's parts when you're on sort of this rusty stuff that you sort of you'll hear what sounds like footsteps behind you, and you'll look back and it's actually just the ambient sound effects. I love that. That's the kind of thing that like throws you off. And you know, if this were a longer game, you know, more of that would be great. It's kind of like, it's the perfect amount for the experience that it is right now. But I just absolutely love that. So let's get into story, because this is the part that Matt Reeves really wants people to take away from it, which is good. I love stories. That's why I play video games. Some people play games for the gameplay. I'm going to take my hot take and say that gameplay is 100% secondary to story. And as human beings, we're story creatures. And the purpose, you know, so we are drawn to things by a story. And even when you're playing something thinking that you're only taken into it because of the gameplay, the progression itself becomes a storyline for you. So I would posit to say that everyone plays for the story, or for the story. It's just whether they've created the story themselves or not. Anyway, okay, let's look at the thing here. We've got a disheveled man with a hook. Oh, okay, I actually get a chance here. Excellent. Okay, so I'm not reading something specific from the monster, other than, oh, we die and we wake back up in the rusty bathtub. That's interesting. So my running theory here of the story is that when we wake up in this rusty bathtub, we are actually waking up in sort of the mirror universe of the real world. And so by climbing the steps and everything, we're actually going up. We're going, it's projected as up, but I guess falling back down into reality. So what I think we're in right now is the unreality, or sort of the waking dream of our own guilt, or you know, I hesitate to put a finite definition on it, only because it's like one of those things that might be a little, oh wow, we might actually get a little look at him here. Okay, cool, excellent introduction. If that was more scripted and I just happened to miss it last time. Yeah, so I think this is the not real part of our experience. And when we climb up, we're climbing up to what's actually real. And it might be like we're descending upwards, so to speak. So so we have two lines for life. The 2 lines for life obviously are talking about the 2 lines on a pregnancy test, meaning that in fact there is some pregnancy happening. Sorry, I tried to run past to see if I could do that. So the 2 lines of death, I think, are talking about this male character, who I'm not going to assume is us necessarily, are talking about that suicide. And so 2 lines of life, 2 lines of death. So what we have here is like, we've got a briefcase, so some sort of business. We've got a business thing, crossed out his trip to Chicago on the plane ticket. We've got 2 dead bodies in the bed, and then we've got 1 body in the bathtub. So to me, that might mean, you know, this guy, he's a businessman. Well, let's say we are the businessman, right? We're the man in the bathtub. We're waking up in the bathtub. I think it's fair to assume we're the man in the bathtub. I should scratch that. Okay, I'm working through my thoughts as I play here. Let's do it live. Bill O'Reilly. So we're the man in the bathtub, and we are the businessman. We are about to leave for a trip to Chicago, or we just got back from Chicago, or we live in Chicago and we just got back from a trip. We don't live in Chicago. We obviously live in Silent Hill based on the street signs. So we just got back from Chicago on a business trip. And what do we come home to? Well, we come home to find out that our wife is pregnant. But most pregnancies don't involve 3 people. It's usually just 2. And so here we've kind of... Here it's like, yeah, we've got 2 lines. The lines on our wrists and sort of the lines of death that we've drawn on the other people. Oh no. No! Couldn't escape. It's like the 2 lines of death could be the 2 lines drawn on our wrists, but it could also just be the 2 lines of death that we've drawn on these other 2 people, a sort of adulterous affair happening between these 2 people, and we've decided to cut their lives short because of our own sort of reaction to that. And I'm not going to come out as pro-adultery here, but I will say that killing them is probably a bit much, a bit on the taking it too far side. So, we've got the 2 lines of life being that perhaps this baby was one that either real or perceived was sort of born from this adulterous affair, and we just couldn't handle that, and so we decided to kill them both in the very bed that they were sleeping in. So that's kind of my running theory of the story. I kind of imagine that I'm missing a crucial detail here just because nobody's kind of come out and said it already. But obviously, to me, it seems obvious with the briefcase and the plane ticket that we're establishing this concept that we've been away and put in a lot of our effort and sacrificed a lot for this significant other of ours who's sort of returned the favor by getting pregnant from another person because there are 3 bodies. And so that's kind of my theory, my running theory. And when the creature comes up to you after you've discovered the bedroom saying, you deserve this, to me that's sort of telling that it's like, while in the heat of the moment it may have seemed justified to, take both her and the other person's life, that we actually feel pretty remorseful and guilty about it. That, it really wasn't fair of us to sort of, play God with these people's lives, and the life of an unborn person, just because of our own sort of what we feel is righteous anger. And that's an interesting concept because, especially in this game here, to sort of play with the idea that, like, to take an anger that most people would feel is entirely justified and add an element of guilt to it is really interesting to me. Just that, you know, a lot of times people will do the most heinous things imaginable out of a feeling of complete righteousness. And it's a dangerous thought when you feel like you're completely in the right, because you'll feel that anything you do is in service to that. And I would give examples, but I think it's not necessary for me to get all political or ideological on here, and because everyone can think of, I mean, everyone's already thinking one in their head right now. So I'm just kind of trying to go back to the bedroom here really quick so I can just make sure I'm not missing any other detail to kind of add a complete picture to this. So I want to say, though, I really love I'm calling it the descent upwards, because I feel as though I'm waking in the mirror universe and working my way back to reality, and that working my way back to reality in a physical sense is supposed to mirror how it's happening in a sort of spiritual or metaphorical sense, that I'm working back to the details that brought me into this, like, this sort of prison of my own guilty feelings, and this pursuit by this monster that tells me that I know I deserve this sort of hell I've put myself in. So I really like that. It's a good thematic element. And Matt Reeves, feel free to tell me you're an idiot, you don't understand what's going on at all. I'm happy to hear it, because I love just trying to analyze this kind of stuff, and I especially enjoy it when you can tell, like in this situation, that somebody's actually really tried to put a lot of thought in their games and not just make something that's like, you know, a deformed caricature of Michael Jackson who chases you around a hotel, an abandoned hotel or whatever, for no reason. Not naming any names of anything, obviously. All right, here we are back in. As far as things to improve, I mean, I really feel like even for a short jam game, this feels like a real, actual, complete experience. Yeah, so the blood spatters on the wall here, meaning that, like, somebody walked in from here, found things, drop your briefcase, your plane ticket got canceled. I'm guessing that's what the X is. So I was supposed to be in Chicago, and then the flight got canceled. Walk in to see this, just lose it, go absolutely, like, I'm blind with rage. The blood splatters against the wall from the outside and onto the floor here. So it's like, obviously, they're just in bed, and I just decide, that's it, you're done. And then sort of, you know, see the pregnancy test here, you know, just sort of decide, it's like, you know, I was supposed to it's either that I just don't feel confident that I'd be raising my own baby. Then we have the, you know, benzos here. These are usually for anxiety and things like that. So it's like, you know, it's like a tranquilizer. Just go to sleep. Got the razor blade here, and just sort of go to sleep in the bath. And, you know, when it is time to, you know, go to sleep in the bath, we do go to sleep, and then we wake back up in the nightmare of our own creation. So anyway, I hope that Matt Reeves feels like I've really tried to understand. I'm open to any other suggestions from him or anybody else about what it is that, what crucial detail I'm missing. but I just think that's super solid. And on the bottom here, it says to keep an eye peeled for Nemesis, which is coming soon. Based on this, you know, I would obviously play a game like Nemesis if it's anything of this quality. So anyway, I didn't make a video. Death is suicide, pills and razor. Oh, 2 lines of death, like 2 ways of killing themselves. So oh, okay. Yeah, so protagonist kills himself. Yeah, okay. So, anyway, I feel pretty confident that I'm a big-brained guy who knows all about everything. I'm open to Matt Reeves talking to me. I would love to, you know, sit down, have a cup of coffee, and hash it out. So anyway, that's my grand Matt Reeves theory, 2 lines theory. So I'm really glad that I could actually play this one. I felt so bad not being able to play the last one. And so I was just really glad to be able to actually do this. And thanks again, Matt Reeves, for being so kind as to give me a Linux version to play. Once you sent it, I was just immediately like, I better record this right now. So anyway, thanks everyone for watching. If you want to check this one out, definitely give it a shot and see if you guys you know, see if you guys come up with a different interpretation of things. Just to reiterate, my little short thing here is that we've got a business trip with the briefcase going to Chicago, gets canceled. Well, better go home to the loving wife. You know, just found out that she's pregnant. I'm excited. You know, I'm really going to push myself at work to make sure that we can make this family great. You come home, there she is with another man. And then, you know, or woman. I guess it doesn't really say. And then I'm going to guess man, just based on the pregnancy being such a crucial aspect. And you get there and there she is with another man, and you just lose it. It's just can't keep yourself normal for a moment. Can't keep yourself calm for a moment. And so you just in that time decide they're done. I'm just taking them out right now. Takes them, kills both of them, covers them with a bed sheet, kind of realizes, starts coming to the realization of the sort of horrible thing that they've done, and decides, kind of just the main character then decides to kill himself, and overdoses on pills and slits his wrists in the bathtub, goes to sleep. You know, benzos are a sedative, so he decides, I'm going to go to sleep. And then he goes to sleep in the bathtub with his wrists slit, wakes back up in sort of the nightmare of his own creation, the Silent Hill of his own creation, where he's never quite escaped the guilt. And now it's all about, you know, revisiting that same thing over and over and over again, yet unable to do anything about it. Cool game. So great to see a jam game that can actually have a real theme going on. Great monster design and all that. I've said that a million times already, but I do really like it, and I really like the music. So thanks for watching, everyone. My name is Fiagloss. It's late, and I'm all spooked out. You know, now I'm thinking, what have I done? What's the bathtub I'm gonna wake up in? Lost it there for a second. So thanks for watching. I will see you guys in the next one. This was great. This was great. Very strong. Very